This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mousefan Travel. And if you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World soon and you're looking to have someone help you with any aspect of it, maybe you're just looking for someone to take away the mundane things like booking your hotel stay and dining reservations, all the stuff we've done 1,000 times. Or maybe you're going with a group and you're looking for a little help planning some special events. Or maybe you're looking to spend, maybe it's just a special trip, just you and your little significant other. That's right. You're having a little special trip, little kissy, smoochy, and you want some help with that? They can help you plan those romantic places to maximize your smooching time. That's what they specialize in.
Moochie.
Hey, I just
read Know what I mean?
Moochie.
What does the kid say in the Carousel of Progress? When he looks through the viewfinder?
What's the hoochie coochie?
This is what they say the hoochie coochie is. Now, son, put that down.
Smoochie. Is this? What's the hoochie?
Schmoopsie.
Anyway.
We're feeling the sad.
But check out MEI Mousefan Travel. They can help you plan your trip. www.mousefantravel.com.
Sorry, Becky.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, December 2nd, 2009, and this is episode 651 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Everybody, face the door, and the trick is we're going to make you all disappear.
Oh,
disappear.
No.
Oh, it's
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Enchanted Room.
Right. Under new management.
Fair. Very good. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, it is already December out.
Yes, it is.
That must mean it's 65 degrees out as, at lows, and I hate when it gets in below the 60s. I mean, 50 something is that's darn cold.
That must mean in 4 days or so I'll be heading down south.
That's right. Also joining us on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome to the show, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding.
Matt, I heard somebody say, burn, baby, burn.
Really? Are you hanging around the, I forgot the band name, but...
The Disco again?
Disco Inferno?
Thank you, Mr. Newell.
We don't need no water. Let the...
Yeah.
I won't finish it.
Very nice. It's Wednesday. We're answering your listener questions, and our first email is from Michelle from Franklin, Massachusetts. Michelle. And Michelle writes, I'll get right to the point. We'll be at the World December 8th through the 13th during the reunion. Just got
Hey!
Where can I get a schedule of when things will be going on for Pop Warner? Like what teams and times? Their website just has divisions. If one of our local teams were playing, it might be fun to go cheer them on.
Good question. You can probably call Wild World of Sports and check the website. I think as the team schedule gets closer, we'll be updating it on a regular basis.
Yeah. So even though you sent your question in a while ago, Michelle, by now the answer may be there for you. Next email is from John O, who writes, this is what I was going to post on episode 643 show notes, but it wasn't working, so here it is. Just some quick background. I ate vegetarian for about 10 years and vegan for about 5 of those. So while I no longer restrict my diet that way, I'm still sensitive to it. I was really shocked that neither guest you had on that episode about eating vegetarian said anything about Restaurant Marrakesh in Morocco. Now, I've not tried to eat vegetarian there. The 10 years I went vegetarian overlapped with the 10 years I didn't go to Walt Disney World. But I know that's torture right there. Those are 10 brutal years.
Wow.
But I know there are some...
I'm not going to Disney World or eating vegetarian.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's just no fun. Anyway. But I know there are some great Moroccan veggie places in Boston. And the North African region has a lot of traditional vegetarian cuisine. So even if it's not on the menu, the chefs there should be able to do something for you. As for Lentils' question, they are often rehydrated in chicken stock. You'll learn a lot about cooking when you eat vegan or vegetarian. I would also like to sort of correct something. There is no hard and fast rules for vegetarians or vegan. It's a personal choice, unlike, say, kosher, which has groups monitors, and yes, understanding different groups can have different takes on dietary laws. In general, modern use of the word vegetarian means eating no animal flesh, but you may or may not eat animal byproducts. Also, some also use the prefix ovo and lacto, and an ovo-lacto vegetarian eats eggs and dairy. Vegan means no animal-based or byproducts. So, Len, some vegans don't even eat yeast. Some do. Personal choice.
It's just so complicated.
Yeah.
I need to lay down. I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired.
Wow, yeast. How about that?
It's a challenge.
But that would mean no beer.
All I'm saying is that if I wasn't supposed to eat meat, I wouldn't have these nice sharp teeth over here.
The incisors.
That's right. That's right. It's there for a reason. Next email is from, of course, if we do any topic about anything, we, of course, get something wrong at some point, right, Newell?
Every day.
Every day. So, next email is from rneil777, who writes, "It was good to hear the podcast about vegetarian options. I thought it was sad that the 2 guests you had on rated Walt Disney World worse than the other destinations. I myself have to follow a gluten-free diet because of medical reasons. If I don't eat, then I get sick sometimes for days.
Ew.
I tell you this only that Walt Disney World is by far the most accommodating destination I have been to, where I can actually go and get something made for me and not fear that I'll be getting sick later. They truly cater to those with allergies."
Yeah. I mean, in general, I hear they do a really good job. Maybe
Yeah.
it's, I think, I don't know, maybe it was just the same places that our guests were visiting over and over again. Although, it was funny because we talked to them before the show, and I didn't get the sense that they disliked it. I think the show just, for whatever reason, sounded a little more down than they did. I don't know if that was us or them or what.
Well, again, the thing they had mentioned was we asked them, how does Walt Disney World compare to, like, if you're traveling to the outside world? Like, if they're going to New York or some other city or something like that.
That's what make it sound like they're in prison.
Yeah. And, they compared it, and relatively speaking, they said it wasn't as good, but that's not to say that they do a bad job at Disney World. And it's like, here, you want to eat vegan? We got some water and crackers over here for you.
Right.
I mean, they do a good job, and that's what, this person's mentioning, but yeah. It's all relative, that's all. Next email is from Guy Hutchinson of Princeton, New Jersey. Writes,
I believe it's pronounced Yee.
Gee.
Yee.
It's Guy. He likes to be, hey, Guy. See?
Yee.
I won't say Gee. Anyway,
Yee.
I have a question.
More back at the throat. Go ahead.
All right, very well then. I have a question for you, geese. What are your favorite?
Touché.
What are your favorite things to do Walt Disney World outside the theme parks or water parks or Disney quests?
I'm going to go with my email answer to Mr. Scopa.
What's your email answer?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just got it.
I totally went over my head.
Thank you, Mr. Newell.
Look at his email from today. You'll laugh.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes. It makes no sense to the listeners.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Let me just say for the listeners who have no idea why we're laughing, you'll never make any sense, and we're never going to tell you why.
We're never going to tell you why.
But just assume that it's
It won't be in the wiki either.
sure enough.
Outside the theme.
No.
Well.
What was the question? Outside the theme park?
Yeah, outside. Favorite things to do outside Walt Disney World.
How far outside counts?
Well, no, just outside the theme park. So, like, I'm assuming resorts or anything outside, not in a theme park or water park or Disney Quest. So anything else is game.
I like rent a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Mike. I think renting a boat on any of the waterways is. I especially like Bay Lake or the Seven Seas Lagoon over there. There's a lot of stuff to fool around.
On the Polynesian or the contemporary dock, or the docks over there.
Yeah.
That's definitely the place to go.
I tell you, if you really wanted to spend some time doing outside park activities, I would really go to Fort Wilderness because they have so many activities over there. They have the boats, which we just mentioned. They have archery, they have canoeing, they have kayaking, they have I'm sure they have underwater basket weaving somewhere. They've got.
What about the Disney Wildlife Preserve? Does that count?
Sure, if you go to there.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I guess resort hopping, and I really think Fantasia Gardens is pretty cool too.
Yeah, mini golf is definitely something to definitely check out. It's a nice family activity, and especially if you go during the theme park hours. I mean, there's just nobody there, which is
Half
great.
price for annual pass holders too.
Oh, so there you go. He says, here's my suggestion for what I would do if I had a full day to do things outside the theme park. So let's see. He's got some interesting ideas here. 7:30 a.m., cane pole fishing at Porter Lanes. 8:30, breakfast at Chico's, followed by animal viewing at Animal Kingdom Lodge. 11:15, shop at Downtown Disney. 12, lunch at Earl's Sandwich. 1 o'clock, go to Wide World of Sports and watch whatever games are being played. Usually some local youth teams are playing baseball or basketball. 2:30, check out the hotel pool. 4 o'clock, rent pedal boat at Caribbean Beach Resort. 5:30, go to the Polynesian. 6 o'clock, check out the torch lighting ceremony at the Polynesian, assuming they are still doing it. I'd read it had been canceled, but later returned. That is kind of cool stuff. That's a fun thing to check out. 6:30, check the monorail over to the Magic Kingdom, take the boat to Fort Wilderness, and sit on those barrels and get a foot massage, then go to the petting zoo. It's not a petting zoo anymore, actually. It's you can see the animals, you can ride them. They have pony rides if you've got small children, but you can't pet them. There's signs everywhere. Dinner at Trail's End, then boat back to the Magic Kingdom, monorail back to the Polynesian, drive to Boardwalk, and then round out the night with some entertainment at Jelly Rolls.
The only thing I'd change there is it can be kind of crazy going for lunch at Earl's Sandwich. I'd recommend Portobello Yacht Club.
And one thing I picked up also is that they have AAA discount at Earl's Sandwich of all places.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just crazy in there. It's crowded. Sometimes you can't get a table. But Portobello Yacht Club seems to be always a good spot to go for lunch during the week.
Oh, see, I went there that one time. Len gave me a gift certificate, so I went there for free, and I hated it. So,
Oh, really?
that was for dinner. I haven't been there for lunch, but I will say.
So in other words, Len, your gift was terrible.
It's a thought that counts.
Not that he's bitter.
Next email is from
That's a wedding gift, was it, Lena?
Karen of Jacksonville, Florida. He writes, "Hello, you amazing people, you. In episode 567, another listener brought up Tapestry of Dreams remake. That sparked this idea. I've listened to the song so many times, and I've always wondered what the kids are saying in different languages when they do the I dream of statements. Do any of you happen to know?"
They're just saying what they're dreaming of being when they grow up.
Being the creative bunch you are, I would like to hear what you all think the kids are saying. I think sarcastic, edgy, and creative are up your alley, so give this one your best shot.
That's awesome.
Could be dangerous.
I am dreaming of royalty checks to come for many, many years. Swing and a miss. All right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Next.
Anyone else got one?
I don't speak those languages. How would I know?
Well, what would you be saying? That was this thing.
I dream of peace.
Boring.
Yeah.
I
dream of, I don't know, winning lottery tickets. I don't know.
I dream of
I dream
Genie.
of Dole Whips. I dream of Dole Whips, you know. Spoon fed to me by Belle.
Ah.
What if you were the kids in there and they're saying the other languages? All right, I will purposely take myself out of the running here to not further alienate more listeners in foreign countries. Len, what do you think they're saying?
Yeah, Len.
I don't. I mean, it's the same lyrics over and over again, but I don't know.
All right, very nice. Next email is from Kathy from good old Connecticut, who writes, "We're visiting the world soon, and with our 2 girls ages 4 and 6. Which night would be less crowded at the studios? 1, a night when the park closes at 9 p.m. and Fantasmic is shown. Or 2, a night when the park closes at 7 p.m., but there are extra magic hours from 7 to 10 p.m.
We should get a studios expert.
We'll be staying in the park until about 8 or 8:30 to do rides and see shows. We have no interest in seeing Fantasmic.
Well, here's a question. When Fantasmic is going, the attractions are still open, right?
Depends on the Fantasmic showing. Like if there are 2 of them, like if the park closes at 8, sometimes there'll be a show like at 6:30 and 8 o'clock. 6:30, yes. At 8 o'clock, no.
All right. What if there's one showing?
It depends on when it shows. Sometimes they do show it like in the half hour, like you're right, Mike. Like if the park was closing at 8, there was only one show and it was at 7:30. You're absolutely right. But if the show is obviously at the same time the park closes, then no, the attractions close also
Okay.
at that time.
There's your answer. Yep.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
I would probably. I don't know if option 2 includes Fantasmic or not. That's what she doesn't say. If there's Fantasmic and extra magic hours, no, I would stay away. But if there's no Fantasmic but there are extra magic hours, I would choose that option, assuming there hasn't been a Fantasmic the night before, to augment that one. But it's pretty tough. I mean, either way you can pretty much go. So I would say whatever one works better in your touring schedule. Next email is from. Who's our next email from? Someone who didn't put their name in here. And remember, don't forget name and town and where you're from. For those who don't go several times a year or even every year, how do I get my Disney fix until it's time to start planning the next trip?
Mouse World Radio.
An official guide.
Yeah, I mean, the internet is probably the best method for it because before you're really stuck in terms of, being without anything. But I would really say, any of the resources. I mean, we just mentioned 3 of them on the internet.
Holidays.net.
There you go. And I really do believe that can really help you get past it. And of course, planning the next one really does make a big difference. So even if your trip's not going to be for another year or two, plan different aspects of it because, you're staying on top of the news, you'll know what's going on at the world and you can keep track of, what events are going on and you can, might change your plans as you go forward and, reading reviews of things that are going on. It can, you have a kind of a organic trip planning process.
I've heard that from listeners who have come back from their trips and said they continued to listen to us anyway, just to get that fixed.
Right. Yeah. Makes perfect sense to me. Next email is Len still awake?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. Just making sure. We have the Len watch over here.
Tequila hasn't kicked in.
That's right. Next email is from Sean from Dallas, also KA Kalel 007 in the forums.
Superman?
That's right. Superman listens to the show.
All right.
I have he posts. He's not very secretive about his posting name though. I have a question for you guys and a victory to share as well. My wife dogged me for quite some time about listening to a podcast lately. Oh man, I can't read. I have a question for you and a victory to share as well. Okay. My wife dogged me for quite some time about listening to a podcast, and although my addiction with the show started out just once a week, catching up on all shows I missed, it rapidly turned into at least 8 to 9 hours total per week. I've been listening since episode 15, so I always have something to replay once I start writing out new material.
Wow.
Well, just recently, my wife at her job pulled up one of your guys' shows and loved it. Now she's hooked as well. So much so that we discuss things that have been going on during the show or past shows during our evenings. Well, enough bragging about the show, and on with the question. Well, thank you very much to you and for brainwashing your wife. We are heading to the world, soon, and I'm wondering something about transportation. I think I know the answer to this, but, well, my wife thinks that you guys may know better, so here it is. We would like to go just for one evening to City Walk and try to think how to get there. We will not have a car and have a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, so a regular cab is out. Plus, my mother and father will be there as well and probably would like to go. Can we get a taxi big enough for all of us? And if so, do you guys know what the cost will be? And I suppose what the cost will be for the 2 car seats as well? Is that the only way? Any help on this will be greatly appreciated. Keep up the good work. You can actually call the cab company up and tell them your requirements. They'll come and they'll send you a van or something like that to drop you off, as opposed to the sedan. You just have to let them know in advance. Basically, you can't just show up at your resort and ask the front desk to hail you a cab, because those will more often than not be sedans. But I mean, most of I would say most, but a lot of the cabs in Orlando are vans, either minivans or full-size vans, and that's simply because they know who they're dealing with. And these are families that are coming down to Walt Disney World. It's not like in New York where it's, just Newell hailing a cab for himself because he doesn't want to walk 4 blocks. That's right.
Wouldn't it be cheaper in some aspects if you're staying nearby to rent a car for the day?
It very well could be, Mike. You're right about that. You have to look at the rates. I mean, you might get lucky and you find a good one-day rate that would be worth about the same amount of money.
Because that's the only thing, that once you get to City Walk, the cab's not going to wait for you. So you're going to have to hail a cab again.
Yeah.
And then you might get a different rate coming back, depending on the cab company.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, for convenience and control of everything, it might be worth it just to do that one-day thing. You just got to look at the rates and when they're going. I mean, if they're going during a slower time of the year, maybe perhaps the rental car prices are going to be cheaper to check out.
If you're on property, what's it called? Enterprise will pick you up and bring you over to the car care center and hook you up with the car for the day.
That's
Enterprise is pretty good. And Enterprise is usually the second or third least expensive rental car company, so that's good.
Cool. Next email is it's from Paul, who writes, in addition to the questions I've already asked you before, and gratefully they've been answered, I was wondering whether there's any way of obtaining a schedule for the veterinarians in Conservation Station at the Disney's Animal Kingdom. I found this quite interesting last time I visited, as I got to watch the castration of a duck, not Donald. I was hoping that with a
Poor
little
Donald.
knowledge and
And
planning.
he probably got stuck with the bill too.
I was hoping for a little planning we could see a more significant animal on the operating table this time. Here's hoping for a big cat. Thanks for your efforts. P.S. T-shirts are great, though I had to pay a stinking import tax.
So how many people in the world get to see a duck castration? You know, I mean, what was the duck doing to warrant
Yeah,
that
exactly.
kind of punishment? You know,
Yeah, I mean, they do. What many people might not know is that they do at the conservation station. You can see the vets, especially during weekdays, do different things at their. They perform all sorts of operations like evidently the duck castration.
And now listen, guys. When we started this podcast 4.5 years ago, whatever, did any of you ever think that we would be using the term duck castration on one of the podcasts?
No, I wouldn't have thought of that 10 minutes ago.
Touche.
Oh my god!
Actually, one of our listeners, I know, Laurel Slater, mentioned to me. Actually, mentioned on Twitter. I checked it out on her Twitter. Disney Laurel is her Twitter name. Go check her out. She wrote. She was actually there earlier the other week, and she said that they often do procedures on stage at Rafiki's Planet Watch in the morning. You can even ask the vets as you watch them work.
On stage. What do they put the duck out there in a blindfold?
But evidently, the mornings are the time to check them out. So that'd be my best suggestion for you over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to skip that.
Be interesting if they did it before and an after quack. You know, quack before quack. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, well. Enough of this dilly dally.
This topic is just foul.
Oh, come on, Matt.
I couldn't help
You know,
myself.
Matt, I agree with you. You're exactly right.
Oh.
Next question, please.
Next question is from Will from Iowa, aka the infrequent visitor on
Thank God for you, Will. Thank God for
on
you.
Studio Central boards. I'm going to Central Florida for spring break in 2010, and I'll be tantalizing close to the world. But due to reasons I cannot control, I only have one day I can be at the parks. Given my distance from Florida and the infrequency of my trips, I feel obligated to make the most of it, and I'm inclined to splurge. I've been before, and I'll go again, so I don't need to try to do 4 parks in one day. So I was wondering what you would do with one day in the world. The only thing that is a must-do is Toy Story Mania because I haven't ridden it yet. Thanks in advance for your help and for a great podcast.
Wow. One thing? One
Yeah,
attraction?
Well, one day he's
One
got,
day, yeah.
and he wants to ride Toy Story, so I'm guessing he's going to be he's going to Disney's Hollywood Studios if that's his must-do.
Yeah, but you could just go there to do that and leave.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, spend the morning over there, and then, assuming he's got a park hopping ticket of some sort, because, I mean, it's hard for me to say if he was buying a one-day ticket, I really can't tell him that it's worth to buy the park hopping option, even if he wants to check out some other things, because that's a lot of money. What is it? With a one-day ticket with park hopping, what is it, like
$120 or so? My
Yeah.
God, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's nuts. You'd be crazy to spend that kind of money just for one day.
So let's assume he's got the one day at the studios then.
Yeah, if that's the case, then he would do that. And if he, what he also could do, what Will could do is also not only, he spends the day at the studios, but then maybe do some things we talked about before about, out of the park activities. Perhaps he goes, checks out, some, the night vision goggles at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Or something, you know what I mean? Something outside the parks, but still getting that Disney World fix, so to speak.
I'd spend the day at Epcot. I really would.
I would say so too.
Good.
I would too, but he's never done Toy Story Mania, so that makes it tough.
We don't know how did the email say how long ago it's been since he's been at Disney World? Walt Disney World?
No, but he says he lives in Iowa, so it's not like he can hop down here. Yeah.
Not like you. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Next email is from Jeff, aka Larson J on WWToday.com. He writes, "Hi guys. Outside the Rose and Crown in Epcot, there are a small counter service stand that sold Bass Ale and Harp Lager in a long plastic glass that looked like a bone. I think they call it a half yard or something like that. The last time I went to the World, I bought my bone, purchased during my previous trip, or I brought it rather. But I was told that they don't sell or refill them anymore. Any ideas as to what happened? There was nothing better than drinking a half-yard beer while walking down the world.
Yeah. I could guess what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, when you're drinking that much beer, you're not going to be able to operate a car, let alone pass a sobriety test. I mean, I think they're just trying to be a little more responsible in terms of the beverages they're serving there. I'm not surprised. I was not aware that policy had changed. I could have sworn I've seen them before recently, but that's interesting to know that they don't sell those half yards anymore over there. Basically, for those who are unaware, a half yard is it's a long plastic cup. A real yard is really 3 feet long, and it's filled with beer. In this case, a half yard would be a foot and a half, and it's long and narrow, not as wide as a glass that you usually drink to drink a beer. But it's obviously a lot of beer still, and
It's not that much.
well, no, half yard, no, you're right. But it's still more so than you would be getting in a say a pint.
It's probably 2 pints, maybe. Yeah.
That's about right. But one thing that Disney's they're big on is obviously controlling. They don't want you to get sloshed in the parks by any means. So, at least
Yeah,
not.
go to Food and Wine and see that.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I take that back. Never mind. Yeah, let's go to the last email of the day. So that means I'm going to give Mike Newell 3 questions to choose from. One will be answered today. The others get answered in
Soon.
soon, in due time. All right. Are you ready, Mike?
I am ready.
All right.
And I'm hoping you bring back one of the ones that we had 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, there was one that was intriguing, but
Okay,
it was
I hope
called Busted at the Contemporary or Bashed at the Contemporary.
Oh, Crushed as a Contemporary. Yes.
Crushed at the Contemporary.
Well, ask and you shall receive. Here are your options for the week.
Okay.
Locks of Love, Too Many to Choose, or, surprise, surprise, Crushed at the Contemporary.
Let's go with the Locks of Love for no. I want to hear the Contemporary one.
All right. Last email of the day is from Amy Hall, who writes, "Hello, podcast crew. When I was younger and would go camping at Fort Wilderness with our church's Pioneers group, kind of a spin on Girls Boy Scouts, we would camp for a week, and one of those days we would hike over to the bus stop, load onto the bus, ride them to the monorail, climb off the bus, climb onto the monorail, and ride the monorail around the Magic Kingdom resort loop. We would always stop at the Contemporary Resort for a few hours. I would spend most of the time down in the game room in the basement with my friends. The game room was the best part of the trip every year. I remember how big this place was. There was also so many air hockey tables and all sorts of games and activities, and you really could get lost in there. We would have air hockey tournaments, and just a few friends of mine would all pool our game tickets together and get one big gift, junk to my standards today. These were my favorite memories growing up. Well, in October 2008, my family, myself, 6 months pregnant, my husband, and our 4-year-old daughter, spent a week at their home resort, Saratoga Springs, a long way from camping out in a tent like we used to do it. It was the week of Mother's Day, and my wonderful husband said I could pick our activities for the day. So, of course, I decided to take my family to dinner at Ohana's and then go over to the Contemporaries Resort game room. I was so excited. Dinner was especially great because I got to tell them all about the game room, the fun times, the air hockey tournaments, and the gift we would take back with us. I talked about how huge this game room was and all the fun things we were going to be doing after dinner. We then rode the monorail over to the Polynesian to the Contemporary, and I could feel all those memories coming back to me. I then asked one of the cast members how to get to the game room, and he showed us the way. He led us all the way to this little room with about 25 video games, 2 air hockey tables, and a few other games. I asked the attendant behind the gift counter if there was another game room there, because this was not the game room I remembered. The attendant looked at me and said, no, this was the only game room, and that they had moved it out of the basement quite some time ago. Well, I certainly was crushed, but my husband and daughter didn't skip a beat and loaded some money on a game card and started enjoying the game room. I had to recompose myself after that traumatic blow, but I did, and I enjoyed myself playing in the game room with my family. I did receive a couple sarcastic shots from my husband saying about how huge this room was and how much fun we were having. It sounds like you, Newell.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess if they won't cry with you, then they have to laugh. You have to laugh with them. Please tell me that one of you can remember the game room in the basement of the Contemporary. Was it as big as I remember, or was it the fun times there that I had just made memories my trip so big?
No, it was huge. It was the largest one there. It was the largest one on the resort. Yeah.
It was the best one on property too, without a doubt, the best game room.
Is this the one that was taken out to make room for the wave?
No, I think is that where I thought it was the Concourse Steakhouse was there.
No. This is on the bottom floor behind the central desk, right across from there was like a breakfast center fun, like a grab and go center. That you would go there like I don't know what you'd call it, almost like a food court. But it was just a huge video parlor. I mean, it just had the basketball stuff. I can't think of another. The only thing that would probably come close to it might be the beach club, maybe.
This one was huge. I remember. Yeah. Did it have a bowling alley at one time too?
I think it had skee ball, Mike. Maybe. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Air hockey. Plus, it had all kinds of. I mean, it was huge. It was the biggest video parlor on the property. I can't think of any other one that's bigger right now.
Yeah. So she wasn't crazy, in other words.
No, she was fine.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you'll always have your memories. Sing it, Len.
Memories.
What? Take us out, Len. And of course, and of course, this episode has been sponsored by Mouse Fan Travel. And maybe you've heard that Disney's cruise line is heading into Alaska in 2011. Don't tell Newell's wife, otherwise she'll definitely book it without him knowing.
Added picture
but
of the smiles we left behind.
But if you want to check out Disney's cruise line to Alaska, you know what? MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can help you book that vacation. Check them out at www.mousefantravel.com. Got to find our older episode, read our show notes, or send us your comments. Visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Sopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show. Hi, Logan.
Wah, wah. Ow!
No, don't
get it. Get it?
That's awesome.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.